were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Yeah, the bonnie boat was one as we sail into the mystic.
Welcome to Three, the most innovative metaphysical program ever created. Join Chris, Rainey, and Mona as these amazing intuitives provide you with a three-dimensional divination into your most important questions. Now, from Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, enjoy Three with our hostess, Mona Van Joseph.
Welcome again, everyone, to this wonderful program of Three. Now, people are asking, how do I be on Three? Go to www.three.vegas and go to the How to Be on Three page, fill out the contact information, and we actually take our on-air callers in the order that they come in through the program. So if you're watching this program right now, jump on three.vegas and sign up to be on the program. If you have tuned in for a while and you like what you see and you like how we interact with you, we would love to have you be on the program. I'm here with our master astrologer, Chris Gray, and our intuitive medium, Rainy Day, and I do tarot. Tarot is my specialty. So what happens is when you call in or when you zoom in and you have this question with us, we're going to actually answer your question with the astrologer, the medium, and me, tarot. What's wonderful about that is you choose who's first. So when we get you on the air, you're going to think of your question and you're going to say, I want one of us to answer your question first. And then you're going to choose who's second. And then by default, whoever's left over is going to answer your question third. Then after we're all done giving you 5 minutes of our peace of mind or piece of psychic or piece of intuition, whatever you want to call it, then we're going to do this sort of psychic brainstorm about your issue or your question. And then we're going to ask you your feedback after that. And then we end the program. It's fabulous. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Ron.
Hi, my name is Edgar Alejandro. I'm the co-founder of Rising Again Productions. So we've been here in Vegas producing films for the past couple of years, and we've seen our fair share of studios. We've worked in our fair share of studios, and to be honest, WWDBTV has been our favorite by far. John is so welcoming. The space is wonderful. It's perfect for what we need. We've had rehearsals here. We've had callbacks here. We've had table reads here. So if you're a Vegas creative or really just a creative coming into Vegas, definitely check out this space. Chat with John. I think you'll find that this studio has everything that you'll need as well.
And we're back. We have Ron zooming in with us on the program. Hi, Ron.
Hey, ladies.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the program. So this is how it works. Is you're going to think of your question, and then you're going to choose either Chris or Rainey or myself to answer the question first. And then after that person answers the question, you're going to choose who's next. And then by default, whoever's left over is going to answer your question third. Then the three of us are going to do a little psychic brainstorming of other things we're picking up about you. And then you're going to give us your feedback and we're good to go. So who would you like to have answer your question first?
Oh, I'm going to go with Rainey.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Rainey for 500, please.
Oh. Okay. So what's your question today?
I want to know how you see me occupying my time, being in retirement. What can I do to fill up my time that's going to give me some purpose in my life?
Purpose is what you're really missing. And what's really unusual about this year is it's the year of the 8, the infinity. And your potential and possibilities are not just unlimited, but far-reaching. And I think we've had this discussion before because Spirit shows me a record player that's skipping. You need to start a foundation. And this okay, Chris just went, oh, it's probably in your chart. I am getting chills. I'm wearing purple. I didn't know that you were the next caller. And when I see your daughter on the other side, I see purple ribbons. So she's like, I think Mona's wearing purple, sending you like a universal shout out without anybody really knowing. Wow. But your purpose now is to start that foundation. And it has to do with parents that lose children to this horrible, horrible, I call it a mass it's almost like the Jewish thing. Help me. When all of it's almost like a Holocaust in the United States of fentanyl. Chris is going, it's in your chart probably. My darling, your life's purpose and the events that have taken place over the last few years have honestly been preparing you to start helping other families bring a voice to this horrific, I call it a holocaust of getting and killing all of our children. And our children can be as old as 40 and 50. It is a nationwide epidemic, and you are the catalyst because of your background, because of your regimen, because of having that structure in your life. This will bring structure, and I'm just going to leave you with that because Chris is dying to tell you because I can't wait either.
Yeah, we're choosing Chris for you next.
Sorry, but
Well, I was going to choose
Spirit
Chris.
said, "Boop."
Thank you, Randy.
Hi, Rod. Yeah,
Chris.
I am very excited. So that was one thing that I was going to touch on. And that was actually even before his question. So before I go into your question, though, I want to just highlight some things in your chart because it's directly related to your question. But have you ever had an astrology reading done?
I don't know if Randy has. I don't
No.
know. No,
No,
yeah.
You're a virgin, my darling.
Awesome.
Okay, all right.
So you are.
I was going to say something, but I'll keep my mouth shut.
You're a Sun Virgo, actually, the Virgin.
We've had a lot of Virgos lately.
We have had a lot of Virgos.
Yeah.
And you guys, his rising sign is Libra.
Oh my God.
We have had a ton of Sun Virgos and Libra rising just today. So
Yeah.
very unusual for that combination. There's something about it. Your sun Virgo, that's based upon your birthday, but your rising is based upon your birthday, location, and exact time of birth. And so it's so specific to you because you think about how many people were born at the exact same moment you were in the same city, and it's probably very few. So it's very specific to you. It tells me a lot about who you are, but it also directs your entire chart. So we can look at different life events, so what makes you unique, unlocking your cosmic potential, and then also predictions as far as upcoming events. And so with your sun being in Virgo, there is this very strong sense of purpose. Like whatever you do, you have to have a sense of purpose. I'm going to mimic what Rainey said. The sign of Virgo, not only do they have to be fulfill a purpose, but they're also very helpful. They have to be of service. So you see these in servicemen and women, and some type of provider or some type of work where you're of service. So when we talk about a purpose, it's usually in some way of serving someone.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have this stellium. You actually have 3 stelliums.
Wow, look at his chart.
It is a beautiful chart.
He's like super direct.
Yes, and very lucky. So stelliums are 3 or more placements in one area of your chart, and it magnifies the energy in that particular area of your chart. And so your first stellium is in your 11th house. 11th house rules organizations, networking, charities, nonprofits, any kind of group associations, gathering. It also connects to any kind of dreams or goals that you have. And then your other stellium is down in your 5th house. 5th house rules your heart. Usually it rules children, passion, self-expression, creativity. And then you have another one that's up in your 9th house. 9th house rules not only travel, like foreign travel, but it also rules spirituality, the metaphysical, our faith, even religion. And so when I see this stellium in your 11th house, this tells me that
you have really big placements. It's not just a stellium. Your actual placements in that area of your chart are very, very strong. So you have this ability to be a community leader, bring people together, organize charities, organizations, events, networking, bringing people together for a certain purpose. And this actually fulfills part of your purpose in this life, because then directly across from it, your other stellium in your 5th house that rules your heart, your passions, your self-expression, and your children. There's this placement that it's called the wounded healer. Okay. And so through bringing people together for a sense of purpose and common ground, you have this healing. And with it being connected to your heart, your 5th house, which rules your heart and your children, I really feel that a really inevitable place or area for you to spend your time is creating groups, nonprofits, charities, organizations, where it brings purpose and highlight to the passing of your daughter. And it will fill your cup up. And not only will this be something that you enjoy and it brings so much heart and fulfillment, but you're going to receive so much healing from it too. It's going to feel like it's going to bring the purpose, because sometimes a grief when someone passes, the hardest part about that is finding the purpose of why did this happen. And you're through this building this network and connecting with people and helping other people to bring awareness, you're going to heal that, bringing purpose, that area, and bring purpose to the passing. And then also your other stellium, it connects up there too. And that's in your religion, beliefs, spirituality. So I feel like you're very spiritual, almost maybe you're spiritual, but then there's maybe some metaphysical to that as well. But it ties into this, bringing this purpose. It's also going to tie into your belief system. So maybe you're going to develop new beliefs, or maybe you already have. I actually kind of sense that maybe you already have. And it's going to really kind of tie into your whole purpose. And this is the purpose, is to serve, to bring awareness to this.
Very good.
Wow.
Very good.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. It's my turn.
Save the best for last.
Oh, you're so sweet. Oh my gosh. Okay. So it's really interesting because I had a vision of a card that might come up in your spread here. I'm going to shuffle the cards really well for you. The card that I keep seeing for you is a card in traditional tarot. It's called the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is somebody that has spent a lot of their life being very, very disciplined. But then if you look at the card called the King of Swords, there's like a glowing light above the person's head, this man's head. And it's in the shape of a cross, which is spirituality hitting the real world of the mundane. And it's the center of that crux of the center that is enlightenment. And so I could actually say through your own discipline has come your own enlightenment. All right. So I'm going to draw the cards for you right now. I'm going to be a little freaked out if that card ends up that does come out, but I keep getting the vision of that card. So you might want to look up the King of Swords. No, it's not in this, but you might want to look that up. So this is your daughter on the other side over here. And it's interesting because I felt that before she passed, there was a lot of suffering with her. And this could have been mental suffering. It could have been her trying to be popular with a group of people, or trying to do things in order to feel like she was included in some way. And I think that to really zoom in on the purpose of what my companions here are talking about is that it's about developing a sense of community, so people don't think that they have to sacrifice their well-being in order to be a part of a community. But it's the card of you yourself feeling like you've been a bit in purgatory yourself, like it feels like you've been stuck in a way, and it feels like not a lot of motivation to move forward.
But what's interesting is it's saying that the karmic purpose or the healing comes from sharing your pain. And so, but I wonder, it's not you necessarily starting your own nonprofit. I think you look for a one that already exists and you help. And the way you help might be through fundraising or education at schools, where you go in and you start talking to these kids about how you lost your daughter because. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yes, yes.
it could be that I would, and I know this sounds like the weirdest thing I could suggest to you, but in every city across the world, there are at least 5 to 10 Toastmaster groups. And Toastmasters is a nonprofit organization that teaches you how to speak publicly. So you go in and not only do you meet a group of people that a lot of them are scared to death to get up in front of a group of people, but they teach you the mechanics, the structure of how to speak in front of people. Now, I have to tell you, years and years ago, I took Toastmasters. Before I had a radio program, before I was doing this as a career, I actually was in Toastmasters for a couple of years. And I think that it gave me some tools that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And I think that you're going to get to be quite the eloquent speaker. And because you become the eloquent speaker, you could be the person that gets in front of a group of 9th grade kids and you talk about what has happened with you, that the healing for you comes through the pain, and that you set yourself free specifically because you're talking about this karmic path that you and your daughter chose before you even came in this lifetime. So, but it sets you free, because even if just one kid avoids what happened with your daughter, you've just saved somebody's life. And so what it's saying is that this slow and steady wins the race vibration, that you go to Toastmasters thinking that, well, the only thing that's going to happen is that you're going to learn how to speak well in front of a group of people. But what else happens is you end up meeting a group of people that you actually like. And so you might be somebody that enters a speaking contest. You might be someone that might win a speaking contest. And it's all because you tried something different and you have a message to share. Now, I got to throw something else at you really bizarre here, because I think that there's a writer in you. I think that there's stories in you that might touch the supernatural, and that it may be connected. And Chris is nodding her head as I'm saying this. I think that through your regular disciplined job, whatever your job was before you retired, there was some sort of flash of maybe psychic phenomenon or something, that like seeing a UFO. I don't know, there's something that happened while you were, this is my life, this is discipline, this is what I do. And then Spirit said, oh, let's show you something else. Slapped you upside the head with something you weren't expecting and you couldn't explain it. But now that I feel like there's a gate that's been open here that wasn't there before, but you had a whole different idea of what life was, and now life is totally different. So there's this card, and the reason I know that, right smack in the middle of your spread of cards is a card called Transformation. And when this card comes up in this position, it means that you've been holding yourself back. It's like self-inflicted purgatory. You've been holding yourself back. The card next to it is a card called Silence, but it's reversed, which means your own experience, the spotlight is going to fall on you, and you're going to have to explain it. So I'm actually telling you to step into it by learning how to speak publicly, so you're comfortable with it. So when this spotlight falls on you, because you might capture a picture of a UFO, or there's something that happens that now you have to be able to eloquently explain it in a very succinct way. So this is big stuff here, Ron. Big
Thank you.
stuff.
I've actually dipped my toe in some of that with speaking and being involved with people who've lost a loved one through with fentanyl, and I have seen some cosmic stuff with orbs at night, and little visions I've had, and so
Are you able to capture the orbs on camera?
yes.
Oh, wow.
I've
Okay.
I sent a lot with Rainey, and
I gotta see him.
communicating.
Okay. Well, I think Chris has something else to add over here. So,
And can I ask you, can you look into partnerships,
Sure. Yeah.
relationships? Because
Yeah,
I see one
partnerships is
coming.
big right now too. So I wanted to touch on something that relates to what Mona said. So you have this placement of your north node. It talks about your highest potential, but it's often uncomfortable for us to kind of embrace that. And it's in your ninth house of, it's part of your stellium in your ninth house. And when I see this and with the other placements that you have connected to this, this talks about you developing this strong sense of belief system. And you have these transits that are hitting that and activating that. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this is something more recent in the last couple of years or so. And as time goes on, it gets really strong for you, and you're really developing this because that's the direction you're supposed to go in. And so it's being activated now. To touch on relationships.
I
So
see one coming.
so with you being a Libra rising, you're affected by the current series of Aries Libra eclipses. This series of eclipses are new moon solar eclipses. So they talk about new beginnings. They fall in your first house of self and your relationships. So absolutely new love, new relationship, but this would be long term. It's definitely a possibility with this transit. So it started for you. Actually, it just kind of started for you because you're late degree Libra. I'm going to say probably over the last 6 months, maybe, possibly even. Actually, the eclipse on April 8th
Uh-huh.
affected you significantly. And so you're going to start seeing some transformations in your relationships and the way that your your sense of self, you're defining more of your sense of self. Also, this is talks about you being able to transform, like this is a time for you to start a new identity or a new sense of self. And then the other side to that is the relationship. So there definitely could be a significant relationship that comes over any time, really. And it might actually even be activated within the next 2 months, possibly. Yeah. So
This is with somebody new.
uh-huh.
With somebody new.
You actually may have already met this person. So
I'm sorry, say it again.
you might have already met this person.
Okay.
And if so, it would have been, it's either someone from your past that you reconnected with within the last year, or it could be someone that maybe you casually know, and then in the next couple months it starts to develop.
Can you draw a card on that? Would you mind?
sure. See, here's the interesting thing about the spread of cards I did is that I think the cards were trying to speak to purpose for the pain. All right. So now that we've addressed that, I can actually draw cards about relationship, and I'm going to draw 3 cards, and I'm going to literally ask about relationship because here's the thing. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want you to attract somebody to you that's just looking to be more comfortable in some way. I actually think that card of the psychic gift. Okay, your daughter is going to attract this person to you because she's an angel on the other side. And I think that the communication with your daughter is going to significantly lessen as soon as she introduces you to this woman. Your own psychic gift is going to guide you. That's what this is saying. But what this is saying here is your daughter is going to guide you to love, which means it could be that you're part of a grief group and you end up meeting a woman that ends up being somebody very special to you because, she could have lost her son years ago. But it's hitting her really hard for some reason, even though it was years ago. And she starts to go back to a grief group, and you almost have that same feeling, and you go back to a grief group and you guys meet each other. And when you're asking, well, how long ago did you lose your child? And it's years ago. And the same would be with her.
And so what I'm getting here is that it's your daughter that's leading you to love, and that your own intuition is going to step in and go, you're somebody special. But I don't see you getting married. I see this being companion of choice. You guys might even maintain separate residences because it's easier that way. But I don't see you getting married. I see you just choosing somebody that you like spending the majority of your time with. So there you go.
And Ron, I want to hit on health just a little bit. I want you to go back to working out, and I don't mean like cardio stuff. I mean like
Walking,
weight. Walking is really good for you, but that
water exercise.
weight, like resistance and
Okay.
build. Did you fall out of that?
Not really. Only within the last week. I was still. I walk almost every day. I have a trampoline, a mini trampoline I use. I do. I stretch outside my backyard, like yoga stuff, and I used to use bands. I don't. I used to be heavy weightlifting, but I don't do that anymore.
Maybe bring a little bit of that back,
A
some
little bit back.
resistance. It just feels like your body's kind of wanting to go back to that source energy, if that makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes me
I was in it for 30 some odd years, so yeah, probably that's.
yeah, it's almost like my body's missing that. I miss you. I miss doing that. I miss that the pain. I know it sounds
I
crazy,
miss
but
the pain.
I
No,
miss
it
the
doesn't.
pain. The body is really craving to be strong, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
And Chris has something
Yeah.
else now too.
I want to add on to health. So you have this transit that started. It could have started maybe within the last 8 months, possibly year. It's kind of hard to tell exactly, just because sometimes planets go forward and backwards. So, within the last year, there's this transit, and usually when I see it hit somebody's area of the chart where it's hitting yours, it it says that you could be very susceptible to prescription drugs, definitely drinking, any kind of even supplements. So if you're having some kind of strange symptoms or ailments, because sometimes this can be really hard for doctors to diagnose, because
Uh-huh.
it's just kind of not the norm for you. And so with this, it could be supplements, it could be prescription drugs, and it's something that it's not that you're allergic to it, it's just you're more susceptible to drug interactions. And so
Okay.
also, this could relate to hypertension or any kind of like fluid in the body. So,
Right.
but just make sure that before you take anything, even if it's a supplement, that you're checking to see if there's any kind of known interactions. And even if
Okay.
it's like the rarest chance, of what I see so many times with this transit is, let's say there's like a 1 in a million chance, you might be that one. I'm just saying. It's
Okay.
And always check with your medical professional.
Yes.
But
Right.
I have to say, I totally agree with that, because our bodies are really smart. And when we don't listen to our body, that's when it goes into revolt.
right.
But I have to tell you, Megan is so around us, because we're all like in a purple hue here. And it was not coordinated, and it was not planned. And your beautiful purple girl is always around, and I love her to death.
Right here, Brady. Look. My
Oh,
Ta-da!
so Ron, we always like to ask at the end of your visit with us, or any of our video in visits, what is your impression of your experience on 3?
Well, first of all, I didn't know for the past 4 years, Reddy and I've been in communication. She's guided me. She's helped me so much with my passing my daughter. Incredible. I can't even put into words. So, what she's meant to me. And yeah, and I went on the internet and checked Mystic Mona and Chris, and I'm realizing, whoa, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. And I started getting a little nervous about it. But I'm very grateful for you guys asking me to come on and it really means a lot to me. And you guys, I believe in what you guys do, and I've had it help me in my life. So I'm a strong believer in what you guys do. So thank you for that.
Oh, I love you
That's
too.
wonderful.
And by the way, go outside, film some more, and keep looking up.
Say that again, Rainey.
Spirit said, go outside more and keep looking up. Your
Yes,
mantra
ma'am.
is keep looking up, keep looking up,
Yeah.
keep looking up. I love you.
All right, Ron, thank you so much for being on the program. And, please keep us updated with what goes on with you, okay?
I will. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you for your time.
Okay,
God bless
thank you,
you.
Ron. Thank you. All right.
What a
Wow.
wonderful human being.
What a loss for him, though.
Tremendous.
Oh,
I mean, I'm one who, there's nothing like losing a child. But losing a child is something like that can be avoided. Oh, the man is strong. The man, we need him. We need him in this world.
well,
We need more Rons.
we need more Rons. Absolutely, absolutely. I loved what you pointed out in his chart about that basic. What was the wounded? What was the
wounded healer.
wounded
Yeah.
healer? Because in other words, you have had to have the awful experience in order to understand somebody else's awful experience.
And in order to be able to heal others. Yep.
And
And
what,
then bringing
sorry,
that
go
sense
ahead.
of purpose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and 8 is the year of purpose. That's why we're getting so many people.
Right.
What's my purpose? But I just lost my whole train of thought
Oh,
because
sorry.
no, it wasn't any, no, this is Miss Purple Girl. Saying thank you both for watching over her father.
And
She's very proud of how far he's come.
And the number 8 turned on its side, as you've pointed out, is the infinity symbol, but it also means fate, karma, and destiny. And it's interesting that the big eclipse that we had this year on April 8th also resonates that number 8. But the funny thing is that I think people are going to start seeing repeating numbers on the clock, 222, 1111, which is a big one for me. I see 143 a lot. And I'm looking at the clock right now while we're recording this particular broadcast. And it's moments away from being 143, which, as you know, and by the way, maybe you don't know, but 143 means I love you. 1 letter in I, 4 letters in love, and 3 letters in you. So when someone says 143, they're basically saying I love you. And that actually was enhanced by Mr. Rogers back in the day.
Oh, I love that man.
I watched that documentary. If you guys have never
Yes.
seen, and I'm getting goosebumps telling you about this, it's like I had one of those quiet nights and it came up on my my feed and I went, oh, I'm going to watch that. And it's so touching and so heartwarming. And of course, then it led me to start watching some of the old Muppets things. It's
A lot of love in those.
Well, there's the Rainbow Song by Kermit the Frog. If you guys have never listened to the Rainbow Song by Kermit the Frog, it is one of the most touching, beautiful songs out there. And it's not the Wizard of Oz Rainbow Song. It's a whole different rainbow song, and it's just beautiful.
Can you expand a little bit on the agreement that we make before we come into this world?
Well,
because that's what you were speaking about, Ron and
right,
Megan. And
right. Well,
a lot of people don't really understand
okay,
that.
so before you even come into this lifetime, all of the important people that are supposed to be in your life are also in that same realm. And so I know that Rainey and Chris were in my realm, and I was probably told that I wouldn't meet them till I was a bit more mature, but that when I met them, it was going to be important, right? Which is why I know that we have something very special going on here. I met John Stiles, who is the founder of WWDBTV 10 years ago. And he kept saying, we need to do a show with you. We need to do a show with you. Well, I didn't want to do a show by myself. It never felt right to do a show by myself. And so I'm going to go back to your question in a second. But when the 3 of us actually ended up collaborating and John was like, yes, we need to do it. Well, now we've had thousands and thousands of people watch the program. We have people emailing us right and left about being on the program. For us, well, that's exactly the kind of validation we need. But I do believe that we're here many, 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 many lifetimes. And sometimes a lifetime is actually an agreement we make with another spirit to help them through a difficult period. And that once we do that, then we're set free to do whatever we want with the rest of this lifetime. So with Ron, our last caller, he lost his daughter, and he lost his daughter to something that could have been preventable. And that is something that just would piss you off at a soul level, because there was choices there, right? Well, now he's going to do something with it. And whatever it is, it's good. 143. It's going to lead to an amazing new purpose for him. But we make this agreement as a spirit before we even come in this lifetime. And I want to talk about those people out there that were adopted, because when I have people come to me and we're in a private reading and we talk about them being adopted, I say to them, well, your spirit was so strong, you didn't give a crap who your birth mother was. Your spirit just had to be here. Now, the biggest blessing you can give to the woman that gave birth to you is the gratitude that she gave birth to you, so that your spirit could have a house to live in while you're in this realm. All right. So when you start with that, well, suddenly it's not being so pissed off that mom couldn't take care of you at that time for whatever reason. It's now you going, oh, well, my spirit's pretty damn strong, or I wouldn't be here right now. Well, then if you start looking at every single person that you meet, that they might have a karmic reason to be in your life. Yeah. Well, now everything changes, because, there's that saying that some people are in your life for a season or a lifetime or a purpose, right? And sometimes that purpose is something as simple as the lady at Starbucks being extra nice to you in that moment.
That you needed it.
And you needed it in that moment.
Or you needed a kick in the ass.
Right, exactly.
Or you needed something tragic to get your attention.
Exactly. Or in some people's cases, they find themselves flat on their back because of a health issue.
Hello.
Which means they had to pay attention to filling themselves up first, that they can't be so much of a giver to other people. And it's interesting, because I have to tell you the story about Chris. Do you mind? Okay.
Well, I don't know it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's talk about it first.
So Chris and I have known each other for a long time, and Chris has done readings with me. And then one day, about a year ago, she said, I've been studying astrology for about 30 years. And it was the first time it had ever come up. Well, when the whole idea of this show was coming up, I wanted 3 different readers. I wanted an astrologer, I wanted a medium, and then I was going to do the tarot, because that's what I love to do. So I mentioned to her, hey, do you think you'd be interested in doing readings on a show? She's like, sure. And I said, well, you'd have to fly out from Texas to record the program. I don't care. So now we're probably up to, I don't know, this might be our 20th episode now.
Ooh, more than that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, it's more than 20. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, more than
Okay.
20.
So we're over 20 episodes now, but you got to know that Chris flies in to actually record these episodes with us. And it doesn't matter where she is, because you can do astrology from wherever. But I believe that the reason why I met Chris way back when I did is develop not only a relationship with her, but a sense of trust. Yeah. And then I remember with Rainey, I was trying to get her to come to my charity event. And I do a charity event every year called Night of the Witches. And we're going on the 8th annual one, which will be in October. So go to nightofthewitches.com if you want to actually investigate that and show up in Vegas and come to that event.
It's a fun event.
There's a costume contest and everything. We'll talk more about that later.
And it's for charity.
And it's for charity. It's for Help of Southern Nevada. So I remember for a couple of years, I tried to get Rainey to come to this. And then finally she came to one. And then I finally got to meet her in person. And then when I met her in person, I'm like, yeah, check the box, right? And so when this program was in its conceptual stage, she was the first person I thought of. No matter what, I wanted Rainey in this program. Yeah. Well, I did. I told you that.
Yeah.
And so it was to find that third piece. Well, I went through 2 other astrologers before it ended up being Chris. Well, now we've got this set, man, and it's not going to be any more than these 3 and John.
And that's how it's supposed to be. But I think I digressed from your question.
And it's a purpose. It's written in, it's honestly written in our contract.
Right.
It is something we all agreed to before we came here.
Right.
This was supposed to happen. It's all divine timing.
Right.
And not everything is bad. There's a
Right.
lot of good. Actually, for me, even some of the negative is really a positive kick in the ass.
Right.
So
Well-
it elevates our soul, and it's our agreement.
Divine timing. I firmly believe that if you would have approached me a few years ago, I might not have been in the place where I could. You know,
Right.
I had all the knowledge, but I wasn't necessarily ready to.
Step out into the world
Yep.
with your gifts.
Yep.
There's
And now,
always a
and
time.
now we have the Astro Cowgirl.
And it's perfect, right? It's perfect. But it's all for our soul's elevation.
And we're here for you.
yes.
If you found this program, we're here for you. So go to www.three.vegas, go to How to Be on 3, connect with us through the program, and we'd love to see you here. All right, we've gone long again because that's what we do.
Can
thank
you believe
you
the
all.
purple influence?
I know, I love
so
this.
exciting.
I love this.
Thank you,
all
Megan.
for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
God bless.